All right, guys. Well, to finish it off, I'll give you my my loser from the off season, and I'm glad we all had different ones. By the way, this is great. So, they were just involved in again a blockbuster trade from the summer. I'm gonna go with the San Jose Sharks just because I don't really know what direction this team is going in. I think that Mike Grier has done a reasonable job. I thought that the picks of Will Smith and Quentin Musty in the first round were really big for this team to add to that pool that consists of Eklund and Bordeleau and the list goes on. But I can't figure out the direction of this team. Are they rebuilding? Are they committed to it fully? Are they trying to be competitive? Do they see the bottom half of that Pacific Division is kind of wide open? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, yes, Anthony Duclair is a good player and a nice ad. I do like the bet on Mackenzie Blackwood having a bounce back year there, and that's all well and good. But looking at the return from the Karlsson deal, it's again, not exactly a ringing endorsement in my opinion in certain ways. Mike Hoffman is not the player that he used to be. What is Mikael Granlund going to be this year after a rough stint with Pittsburgh and then an off year with Nashville before that? And this D-core as well, after losing Karlsson, and you don't have Brent Burns anymore either. It looks really thin back there. Yes, Mario Ferraro is a good defenseman and probably your best defenseman at this point, but he can't be asked to do absolutely everything on this team. So I don't know. I get that San Jose is probably going to be one of the bottom teams and be a lottery team, and that's great for them because they have to build things back up and look towards the future. But just some of the moves that they've made, I just can't get a sense on what direction they're going in and which one they've fully committed to. So what do you guys think about that pick as San Jose being a loser of this offseason?
Yeah, I think that this team is definitely in the circumstance where we're just not really sure what's going on. And for me, most of the time, I call those losers because I need direction. I can't stand when teams are going the needle's pointing north and south at all times. Nashville Predators is the same case for me. I almost picked them as the losers, but we talked about them 6 weeks ago when we dumped all over their cap situation and all the buyouts. San Jose, they just brought in a bunch of middle six forwards to kind of patch holes in a sinking ship, and now their D-core, they have 4 guys slotted into their starting lineup who are 6th or 7th. One's an 8th defenseman in my mind. So, yeah, it's a weird team. I don't know if maybe they're bringing in these guys because they are going to have quite a few young guys in the lineup and they want some sort of veteran leadership to rub off on them, and a Duclair and a Hoffman and Granlund. But it's a weird direction, and I don't think this team's going to be very good, but I think that they're going to be stealing games to the point where they're going to work themselves out of a high lottery pick. So I think that makes it a loss this offseason.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to feel about the Sharks either because, you both mentioned that they're going to be a pretty bad team, and I think that will be the case as well. But they haven't really followed the, call it the Arizona model where you're going to be bad, so you bring in replacement level players to fill some holes. Well, it seems like at least up front, they've brought in some players who are just sort of too good to plug those holes if you want to be bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bring in a guy like Anthony Duclair, who is, still a pretty good scorer in this league. I don't know if that makes a ton of sense. Maybe it is one of those veteran things case. You want, some of those older guys who, are skilled and talented around some of your younger players like Eklund to sort of teach them. I get that. What I will say about the Sharks is that they are tanking like no other team maybe ever has tanked before. They have a ton of guys who can score up front, but who historically do not know how to play defense. And on their back end, they straight up just don't have top 4 defensemen. So they and then, top that off with a tandem of Blackwood and Kakkonen. both guys who can be good, but you know, let's be honest, going into this year, we don't know how either of those guys is going to play, like, at all. This could be an extremely fun team to watch. They might win 15 games just by outscoring the opposition 8-5. Like, it could be extremely exciting to watch. But that being said, like, I don't think any other team has tanked quite the same before, so it's just interesting looking at them. But I agree generally, Harp, that they're one of the losers of the offseason. I didn't mind the return for Karlsson. I'm glad they finally got it done, to be honest. Like, it was just exhausting for them, I would assume, to have to go through that process of, on, you know, especially the day-to-day of talking with teams and negotiating. Like, it's over now. You don't have to worry about it. Like, you're onto a new chapter. You're tanking, albeit differently than other teams in the past, but you're tanking. So we'll see how it goes, and maybe at the deadline they're able to trade a couple players and get more picks back and fully commit, and you know, we'll see if that happens or if that's the route that they want to go. But yeah, generally I agree with you guys that the Sharks are a bit of a loser of the offseason. They'll be fun though.
Well, yeah, you said kind of what I was saying, in that I think they're going to accidentally steal a bunch of wins with these guys who can score goals. And it's like, that's just not really what they want to be doing. But at least the guys they brought in are all very good trade deadline bait, just like you mentioned, Chad, because they're all 1-year contracts. Dish them off the trade deadline. Hopefully some of your younger guys are ready to make a step, and then just play like a bag of shit for the rest of the year. So yeah, it's going to be a weird season in California. Yeah,
something we haven't mentioned either is that, you know, the Sharks have to sell tickets. They're not the Maple Leafs. They're not the Canadians. Like, you know, they're not going to sell out every night. So they need a draw, and bringing in a guy like Duclair could be that draw. Or, you know, even a Hoffman. You know, of course, he's not the same 30-goal scorer he once was, but, you know, you need players to score goals, and you know, if you want to sell tickets. So that's part of it too. It's a California market. It's not exactly the same as being in a hockey hotbed. So,
and those those teal jerseys are one of the best looking jerseys in the NHL. That's for sure. But again, guys, like I wanted to bring this up. Just off the top of my head, like, how bad does this sound for a top 4 on the blue line? Like, let's say it's, again, just off the top of my head, Ferraro, Ruda, Vlasic, Kyle Burrows. Like, is that the top 4 there? Again, this is just off the top of my head without looking at cap friendly and all of that, but that is a top 4 decor for a team that's tanking, that's for sure.
Yeah, like Radim Simek, Matt Benning. Yeah, like that might be
Benning too.
That might be the top 4 there. So yeah, but like anyway, it's a tanking team, so you know, whatever. They're gonna lose a lot of games this year. We just think that they might win some by mistake, which is very possible.
I agree, and let's not forget too, this is a team that still has guys like Tomas Hertl and Logan Couture, who are still very productive NHL players as well. So